Hello, amazing souls. Welcome back to the Harmony Inspired Health Podcast. This is your host, Harmony, and today we're going to be talking about sustainable and ethical weight loss for women in their 40s. I know a lot of you, including myself, have just been through the Christmas New Year period where we've fallen off the track a little, and that's absolutely fine. But now is the time to get back on track. And a lot of you may be wondering, well, how do I lose weight or maintain my weight in my 40s? It seems so much harder. And yes, you're right. In your 40s, your body isn't the same as it was in your 20s, and that's not a bad thing. But when it comes to weight loss, what worked in the past may no longer deliver the same results. Hormonal shifts, metabolism changes, and lifestyle demands all play a role. So, in this episode, we'll dive into sustainable weight loss strategies tailored for women in their 40s, from diet and exercise to honoring your individual constitution. Ayurveda teaches us that different body types, Vata, Pitta, and Kapha, respond to weight management in unique ways. So I'll share 5 actionable tips to help you lose weight without restricting diets or punishing workout routines. This is about working with your body, not against it. Right, so let's get into those 5 practical tips for sustainable weight loss in your 40s. Now, we've all heard about fasting, but women are doing this wrong. A lot of the wellness trends that I have heard has asked women to fast till like 1 o'clock in the afternoon and have their first meal then. And this can absolutely wreak havoc on your hormones and can slow down your weight loss journey. But fasting isn't a bad thing. And so you might be thinking, hang on, that completely contradicts what you just said, Harmony. So how am I meant to fast then? What am I meant to do? What I always suggest is fast overnight and not in the morning. And this is why. Fasting overnight, 12 to 14 hours, allows your digestive system to reset without stressing your adrenals, which can become really sensitive in your 40s. So when you have a longer fasting period overnight, you naturally burn more fat whilst you sleep. And that is so exciting because you're sleeping anyway. So why not make this the longer period of your fast? So how would we do this? We always want to eat our dinner by 6 to 7 p.m. And then we want to break our fast with some warm, nourishing breakfast around 8 to 9 a.m. So if you think you've had your dinner, you pack up the kitchen by 6 or 7 p.m., you brush your teeth, and then you get into your bedtime routine, you have a beautiful, wonderful sleep because you don't have like heaps of heavy food to digest in your body, because hopefully by the time you finish your dinner around 6 or 7, you've done your evening routine, you're going to bed about 9:30, so you've given your body a break from food whilst you're awake in that period in the evening. Then you're going to bed, you've already digested a lot of that food, you're having a really relaxing, beautiful sleep, your body's doing all the things it needs to burn fat whilst you're sleeping. And then you wake up, you do your morning routine, and you start to have your breakfast around that 8 o'clock mark to 9 o'clock mark. You are going to absolutely feel and notice the benefits of this type of fasting. Skipping breakfast can throw off your Vata dosha, which will increase cortisol, leading to fat storage. So you don't want to skip breakfast. However, you want to have a really light and early dinner. That is the key for this type of fasting. So when we focus on the different type of doshas, Vata dosha wants to have a light and warming breakfast. So something like oatmeal porridge with, I always add collagen powder or some protein into my porridge just to make it more sustainable and to not spike blood sugar. I also love to add cinnamon, which is a really, really healthy additive to help with blood sugar regulation as well. Vatas can also have some stewed fruits with maybe some cardamom, cumin, and even some cloves can taste really nice in stewed fruits. If you're a pitta dominant dosha, maybe it's a room temperature smoothie, maybe it's some avocado on toast or some cooling grains. And kapha constitutions want to have light breakfasts like a green smoothie or water with lemon and maybe a quinoa porridge or something a little bit lighter. My next tip, so tip number 2 for either sustainable weight loss or maintaining a healthy weight, is to add in strength training and build muscle for hormonal imbalance. Now, this is super important as us women age, because as we get older, our estrogen levels drop, and our estrogen is responsible for our bone health. Estrogen and progesterone also play a really important role in our metabolic health and our muscle mass. So, why it really matters building muscle and strength training in your 40s is that muscle mass will naturally decline in your 40s, which will slow your metabolism. So I suggest strength training 2 to 3 times per week minimum to combat this. And this will help support hormonal regulation and weight loss. A tip is to focus on progressive overload, so lifting heavier weights over time, or use body weights like squats, push-ups, and Pilates. I absolutely love Pilates, and since I have entered my 40s, I've been doing so much more Pilates, and I feel in a really healthy, good place with my body. I like how it looks, I like how it feels, and I love feeling strong within myself. So doing this minimum 2 to 3 times a week will definitely help you lose weight in your 40s and sustain your weight loss. Now, when we're looking at the individual constitutions, we want to focus on gentle resistant training such as Pilates or yoga with weights for a Vata dosha. Pitta can handle more higher intensity weight training with rest periods in between, and a kapha constitution, circuit training and HIIT training to invigorate the body can be really beneficial for weight reduction. My next tip, number 3, is cycle sync your diet and exercise. Now, here's why. Hormonal fluctuations throughout the menstrual cycle, even as we transition through perimenopause, can create stubborn weight loss. So syncing with your cycle allows for better energy, reduced cravings, and fat loss. Now, let's look at our cycle. So the follicular phase, which is after we've had our period, we have more energy. So this is when we want to opt for that heavier strength training. In the luteal phase, so this is just before our period, we want to prioritize restorative workouts and protein-heavy meals to curb cravings. Ayurveda also suggests using adaptogens like ashwagandha and shatavari to support these hormonal shifts. Obviously, when we're menstruating, this is a time where we want to take more rest, but we can still enjoy some light exercise, such as walking, some yoga, some Pilates, and different activities that you really enjoy but aren't really heavy on the body. Number 4 is to avoid cold, raw foods and favor warm, nourishing meals. Why? Because cold and raw foods are harder to digest, which can dampen your Agni, which is your digestive fire, leading to bloating, slow metabolism, and fatigue. So what we want to focus on here is cooking our meals. So think soups and stews, roasted veggies, and grounding grains and proteins. If you're more of a Vata constitution, you want to focus on root vegetables, ghees, and stews. A Pitta Constitution might focus on foods such as sweet potatoes, basmati rice, and cooling herbs. And a Kapha constitution, they want to really add some spice into their food, like ginger and turmeric, and have a lot of nice, beautiful steamed greens. So when you eat in this way and support your Agni, your digestive fire, then you will have a better operating metabolism and be able to lose weight more easily. And number 5 is to prioritize stress reduction. Weight loss starts in the mind, guys. Chronic stress leads to high cortisol, which promotes belly fat storage. Emotional eating also tends to surface in our 40s as our hormones shift. So some tips I have is to incorporate daily breath work. It is so regulating for our nervous system and balances our cortisol levels. To do meditation that we enjoy and restorative yoga. So all of these things help to regulate our central nervous system. For someone who is more of a Vata constitution, you can focus on doing meditation. And I like to do, for Vatas, meditation with their legs up the wall. So laying on your back, put your legs up the wall. This really gets you into a beautiful parasympathetic state. And also focus on some journaling. So getting all of those thoughts out of the mind. I know Vata, we can be really heavy with our thoughts, just constantly swirling around in the mind. So when we can really ground those thoughts by using pen and paper to journal, we feel a lot less bombarded with those stressful thoughts that are sort of on repeat in the mind because we've finally set some time aside to get them out. Pittas want to practice some cooling pranayama, some breath work, so like Shatali breath. They want to get out in nature. They want to do a lot of slow, mindful walks to really help with that stress reduction and movement, but not overheating when they're doing their movement. And Kapha, they really want to do some more upbeat movement, dancing, sauna therapy, have a little bit of more play and fun to help to balance those cortisol levels and regulate their nervous system. In your 40s, it is a time for self-discovery and reclaiming your health in a way that aligns with your natural rhythms. It's not a time to try to hook into all of those fads and fitness trends. It's really a time of maturity and to understand yourself, your individual constitution, and what's going to work right for you. And our individual constitution will dictate the types of foods, exercise, and even nervous system regulation activities that are going to better support our journey in weight loss and sustainable, lasting weight loss. So, in saying that, sustainable weight loss is about balance. It's physically, mentally, and emotionally ourselves. So let your Ayurvedic constitution guide you and not restrict you. I hope these sustainable weight loss tips have helped guide you in some way. And if so, I'd love to hear your thoughts. You can reach out to me on Harmony Inspired Ayurveda on Instagram.